Hello everyone, this is your friend Uzumkai Universe 2.0 and we are back in new fanfic. What if Kurenai raised Naruto as the legendary Ice Fox, and Samui and Ayane fell for him? Naruto x Samui x Ayane Part 3. Kurenai watched Ino, Choji and Shino do their work of painting the fences of a client while she heard the small grumbles from the blonde of the group, but that was understandable. Missions like these had no use for shinobi. Doing chores that civilians were too lazy to do themselves. It staggered the mind of how different things were from back when Kurenai was a child. Kurenai-sensei, how long do we have to do this menial labor? Ino asked while Kurenai sighed before getting to her feet. This is to help you build teamwork, Ino. You must master this before you take on the higher missions, Kurenai said while Shino turned to Ino. This is the most logical conclusion, Ino. We know nothing about each other, and if we're not prepared then we won't know our enemy, the Aburame responded, and Ino just settled for nodding. Whatever, bug boy. Sigh. I wonder what Sasuke-kun and Naruto-kun are doing, Ino said, daydreaming while Choji's stomach grumbled. I'm hungry. When is lunch? Choji grumbled, making Kurenai sigh at her team, but she could deal with it, she figured. Soon the genjutsu mistress turned around to see Azuma walking up to her. She raised an eyebrow while Ino, Shino, and Choji glanced at the two. Azuma, what are you doing here? Kurenai asked, and Azuma gulped. He whispered in her ear, and Team 9 noticed Kurenai narrow her eyes as she visibly tensed slightly before they saw Azuma disappear. Kurenai-sensei, what's wrong? Ino asked, and the genjutsu mistress turned to her squad. After we're done with this mission, you three will have the day off. We were scheduled for training exercises, but something came up and I'll have to do it later. We'll probably do this tomorrow. Now come on and get this work done, Kurenai said, clapping her hands as the three continued. None of them saw Kurenai's cold glare as she looked at the sky for a bit. So he's here, huh? Well, that's not going to be good, Kurenai thought as she wondered where her son was at the moment. With Team 8, Anko and her squad currently left the port with their newest accessory and were traveling back on the road into Konoha. Everyone was currently conversing amongst themselves about how everything went down. So Kyoko-chan defeated a giant sea monster with one technique of her sword. That's awesome, Naruto exclaimed, and Kyoko rubbed the back of her head with a small blush. I told you guys it was no big deal. I was one of Kiri's top swordsmen. It was no big deal to me at all. So when are we supposed to be arriving in Konoha anyway? Kyoko asked, and Anko took out the map. In about 2 hours, maybe less. For now we'll have to hurry, Anko said, and everyone rushed through the trees. They all couldn't wait to tell their Hokage about the success of their mission and who they even got for a friend out of it. So you suck at dispelling genjutsu? What's up with that? Naruto asked with a laugh while Kyoko smacked him over the head. Hey, I'm still a good shinobi without learning how to do that. Show some respect, she said to him, and Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Sorry, I just didn't know that one of Kiri's swordsmen was able to get caught in AC rank genjutsu. It's funny, Naruto said to her, and Kyoko narrowed her eyes while Hinata and Shikamaru snickered. HMPH, whatever. I could still kick your butt if I wanted, she said, and Naruto raised an eyebrow. Anko face-palmed herself while Hinata and Shikamaru wondered if this was about to become something very weird. You're on, Kyoko-chan. Maybe I'll take it easy on you and use a simple D rank genjutsu this time, as you had trouble with that C rank, Naruto said as he saw Kyoko's blue hair shadowing her eyes. The blonde gulped before he quickly shot forward while Kyoko grabbed her sword. Okay, brat. I'll teach you, Kyoko yelled, chasing after Naruto while the rest of the group continued to laugh. They're so troublesome. They act like they were never enemies, Shikamaru said while Anko nodded. She could definitely see the smiles on Kyoko's face. It must have been one of the first real smiles she had ever given or allowed herself to show. Sometimes it's better that way. You meet a lot of strange people in the world. It seems she was just lucky to meet Naruto, or who knows what she would become. Remember this rule, you too, as both Naruto and Kyoko know this all too well. Yesterday's enemy might be tomorrow's friend. Never forget that, and you'll strengthen your bonds a lot of times, Anko instructed, making Shikamaru and Hinata nod while they saw Kyoko still chasing Naruto. Naruto-kun's formation of bonds must be a strange thing, Hinata said, making Anko nod while Shikamaru sighed. Sigh. The only bond I want to make right now is one with my pillow. Man, I'm tired, Shikamaru muttered while Anko rolled her eyes. Gaki, you're always tired. Don't worry, I'll beat that laziness out of you, Anko said with a cheeky grin while Shikamaru effortlessly nodded. Troublesome, the Nara said to himself as everyone continued to run towards their village. 2 hours later, Naruto and the group were coming up to the Konoha gates and sighed in relief. Finally made it. Now we just have to clear this was Gigi and then we can go home. We can also find you a home also, Kyoko-chan, Naruto told her, and the blue-haired Kenjutsu woman settled for simply nodding as they approached the gates. They all saw Izumo and Kotetsu watching them as usual until they saw Anko's group. Hey Anko, back already? Izumo asked, and the Tokubetsu Jonin nodded with a slight grin on her face. That's right. The mission wasn't very difficult. It would have been much less difficult if not for somebody, Anko spoke, glaring at Kyoko, who had a slightly confident grin on her face. Well, it's nice to see you back, but Hokage-sama needs your team in his office. Well, not his entire team, but more precisely Naruto right now, Kotetsu reported, and Anko raised an eyebrow. Well, we were just going there, but what does he need Naruto-kun for? She asked them, and the blonde raised an eyebrow. It was a rarity that his Gigi ever needed him for anything, so he wondered what he could want. Naturally, Hinata and Shikamaru were curious as to what their Hokage could want with Naruto also, but they figured that they would know about soon enough. Well, the Raikage of Kumo is here talking with Hokage-sama, and he just said that he wants to see you know. So you'd better get going now, Izumo told her, and Anko nodded with a slight thank you. Well, thank you for that. We'll be going then, Anko said as everyone walked off. They decided not to dawdle any more than they already had. I wonder what he wants with me, Naruto said to them while Shikamaru rubbed his head. Maybe you did your usual pranks. I still remember when you unleashed so many snakes on the academy as a joke and everyone was screaming out at the top of their heads. Sheesh, you get that from our sensei, I bet, Shikamaru answered while Kyoko raised an eyebrow. He did what? She asked, and Hinata explained the incident while Naruto and Anko were laughing at the past prank that they did together. Naruto-kun had told us about the prank before it actually happened. We were more prepared for it, but soon there was giant ball of cloth that came from the ceiling. It showed a bag of hungry snakes that went for the first thing they could find. Which was us. All the students were screaming like mad, and they closed the academy for 3 days. And the weird part was that no one figured out who started the entire thing, but we all knew. Since the only ones who were associated with snakes were Naruto-kun and Anko-sensei. It was the only time that the academy had been closed, Hinata finished, and Kyoko glared at Naruto and Anko. Both were ready to get scolded by the Kenjutsu woman while Kyoko sighed. You guys couldn't do better than that? Kyoko asked, making Naruto and Anko widen their eyes while Hinata and Shikamaru turned to her like she was insane. What did you say? Anko asked, and Kyoko rolled her eyes. She wrapped her arm around Naruto's neck and grinned. I said you couldn't do better than that. Come on, I did better than that during my academy days, Kyoko said, and Naruto raised an eyebrow. Oh, and how did the great Kyoko-sama do her pranks? Naruto asked, and Kyoko chuckled evilly, making Hinata and Shikamaru back away slightly. Are you kidding? I was able to close our academy for 2 months all with a pencil, some glue, and 12 sets of kunai, Kyoko said while Naruto gasped, and so did Anko. Kyoko-chan, you have to tell us how you did it, Naruto said as they walked up the stairs while Kyoko visibly smirked with a hidden gleam in her eye. Well, alright. It all started when Hokage office. Sarutobi, Kurenai along with the Raikage and Team Samui were all waiting for Naruto's group to arrive. While they were waiting, Karui snuck behind Samui and decided to whisper in her ear. Are you sure about this, Samui? You've never met this guy before. How can you live with something like this? Karui asked and Samui closed her eyes. Karui, just be cool and don't let it bother you. I told you it was alright. Whoever I marry won't matter to me, Samui responded and Karui sighed. She hated that impassive side of her teammate, but knew she couldn't do anything to stop her. Omoi sighed and rubbed his head. At least with Raikage-sama plan you might not have to marry him if he doesn't pass Raikage-sama's requirement, Omoi said and Karui nodded with a slight snicker, but then Samui glared at them both. It's not cool to wish for someone's demise. You don't even know him, so don't talk trash about someone, understand? Samui asked and Karui nodded along with Omoi. The two apologized to the blonde girl as they heard a knock at the door. Come in, Sarutobi said and immediately the door opened. Both he and Kurenai smiled as they saw Naruto, Hinata, Shikamaru and Anko come through the door. They were surprised at mysterious woman who appeared with them also, but that could be dealt with later. Hello Anko, how was the mission? Sarutobi asked and Anko gave him a thumbs up as she handed him the mission report. It was a complete success, Hokage-sama. I believe you remember our deal. Anko asked and Sarutobi nodded, but then she noticed Kurenai glaring at her and Anko sheepishly chuckled while rubbing the back of her head. Hey Nai-chan. I can explain, Anko said while Kurenai rubbed the bridge of her nose and waved Anko off. She had more important things to worry about than that at the moment, so she let it go, for now. Don't bother Anko. Congratulations on your mission, Naruto-kun, Kurenai said with a smile and Naruto chuckled as he rubbed the back of his head. Thank you Ka-chan, but Gigi, why did you call us? Naruto asked as before he saw the Raikage, Samui, Karui and Omoi staring at them. Hinata and Shikamaru looked at them also with confused expressions on their faces. Well Naruto-kun, before we get to that I'd like you to meet the Raikage of Kumo along with his associates Samui, Omoi and Karui, Sarutobi said and Naruto bowed to them all before paying some attention to Samui personally. The two glared at each other and Samui did her best cold glare at the blonde and Naruto narrowed his eyes. He glared at Samui coldly, also making everyone wonder what the two were thinking staring at each other. Soon they both broke their glares from each other and unknown to the other they both mentally smirked. He might not be so bad. He's kind of cool, Samui thought while Naruto rubbed his head while he went back to that glare. She's good. She definitely has Ka-chan's glare if nothing else, Naruto thought, but then he was brought out of his stupor while Sarutobi and A clapped their hands. Raikage Dono, I'd like you to meet Naruto Yuhi Uzumaki. Our top graduating genin, Hiruzen told him and raised an eyebrow. Uzumaki. He wondered for a split second, but quickly grinned as he looked over the blonde. He eyed him from head to toe and could tell that he looked talented for his age. Nice to meet you Yuhi Uzumaki-san. Please meet our top genin Samui, A said as the next blonde bowed to him also. Naruto bowed to her before he turned to his Hokage in confusion. Gigi, what's this all about? Is something going on? Naruto asked and the Hokage took a puff of his smoke. He sighed while Kurenai looked at the ground. Samui and the rest were confused. Naruto should have known about already. It was a wonder that he didn't, but Sarutobi was about to explain so they all stayed quiet. Naruto-kun, a few days ago Konoha received a note from Kumo. They had agreed to a treaty with Konoha after an incident that happened with the Hyuga compound. Sarutobi paused as he looked at Hinata slightly and the Hyuga slightly lowered her gaze before the Hokage continued. Anyways, Konoha agreed to the treaty, but it was only by political marriage of our top genin with their top genin. Naruto, As of now you are engaged to Samui-san. Sarutobi paused while Naruto widened his eyes. Hinata gasped while Shikamaru widened his eyes also. Anko narrowed her eyes and looked between Naruto and Samui. Wait, why weren't we told about this? Anko asked and Sarutobi rubbed the top of his head. It's because you and your squad left before we could get to you. So I decided to wait before telling you, Hiruzen replied and Naruto remained silent. Kyoko watched the exchange between everyone and even she was surprised. She'd never seen a political marriage, only heard about them. This was quite a shock to her. She looked at Naruto's shocked face and could tell that this was one of those things that really surprised him as he didn't seem like the type who was surprised by much. I understand that this must be a shock for you Uzumaki-san, but please accept our offer, said to him and Naruto's hair shadowed his eyes. He looked at the ground and Kurenai wanted to say something, but she felt the words leave her mouth. She, as his mother, wanted to tell him it was his choice, but her shinobi side said that doing so wasn't the best of ideas. Everyone in the room stayed silent for a bit and before Samui walked forward and placed her hand on his shoulder. Uzumaki-san, I don't know what I can say to you, but I'm fine with it. I really don't know anything about you, but I believe it's cool to meet you and get to know you. I hope you'll feel the same, Samui said and Naruto stayed silent for a minute. After what seemed like an eternity to everyone else, Naruto finally sighed and scratched the back of his head. Never thought this could happen to me, but alright, Naruto said, which confused everyone before the blonde turned around and faced his fiancé. The blonde rubbed the back of his head before he gave a sheepish grin. Well Samui-chan, I don't know how this is going to go either, but if you're alright with me then I don't mind. I hope to get to know you better also, Naruto said and Samui gave a very small smile and nodded while some people sighed not knowing that they were holding their breath the entire time. So what do you think of him Karui? Omoi asked and the dark-skinned Kunoichi looked at him from eye to toe just like her rakage. At least he doesn't seem to be an idiot, Karui said and Omoi sighed. His teammate could be such a stickler at times, but he knew she was just looking out for Samui even if he wondered if the blonde Kunoichi needed that. Seeing everyone calm down, Kurenai approached her son and patted him on the shoulder. She always trusted Naruto's judgment at times and just wanted his confirmation. Naruto-kun, are you sure? This is a big step you're taking, Kurenai warned him, but Naruto gave her a simple look and smile as he hugged her, surprising the Genjutsu mistress. It's alright Ka-chan. I can handle it, Naruto said and Kurenai merely nodded and got back to her feet. Sarutobi smiled and so did A, but now it was time to get back to some business. Well, it's good that they both agree so that we have no problems, but now onto my conditions, said and Sarutobi nodded while Naruto, Shikamaru, Hinata and Anko wondered what he meant by conditions. Kyoko raised an eyebrow, but stayed silent. She'd speak when she had the opportunity to do so. Conditions? What conditions? Anko asked and folded his arms. He could tell he was going to make someone unhappy, but he needed his own confirmation as well. It's only one condition actually, but that's beside the point, said and everyone paid attention. Karui snickered and wondered what Naruto's reaction would be to the condition. Simply put, I just want to make sure that Naruto-san is as good as you claim him to be. I'd like to propose that if his sensei finds it a good idea that he should participate in the Chunin exams. He must make it to the final round of this tournament along with other competitors. It's with this that I can see what he's made of. I want to tell you that I'm not belittling his skills as a shinobi, but I just want to make sure that this is a wise choice to go along with, said to everyone. Sarutobi nodded and turned to Naruto. Naruto-kun, do you accept this condition? The Sandaime asked and the blonde put a finger to his chin. Soon he looked down and saw Mikata slither out of his jacket. USSS should take it Naruto-sama, it'll be a good challenge for you, Mikata spoke and Naruto nodded. He grinned and turned to his teammates. What do you guys think? Naruto asked, making Hinata and Shikamaru look at each other. They both lightly smiled before turning back to Naruto. Well, I doubt we'll even be your team in the coming months, but if we are, then I'm good with it. Even if it is troublesome, Shikamaru said, confusing A and the genin with him. What do you mean if? You guys are squad, right? Karui asked, wanting to clear up the confusion as Naruto decided to respond to her question. That's right, but apparently Gigi told the Jonin that he's putting us all together to increase our teamwork skills. He thinks it will lead to more mission success for the village in the long run, Naruto replied, and Karui nodded. So Anko, do you agree with this condition? Sarutobi asked her as she was the sensei. Anko's face beamed with a full smile and she nodded. Oh yeah, I'll train them all real well for the Chunin exams. You can count on me, Anko said while Sarutobi turned to the Raikage. You do realize that I expect the same thing of Samui-san. Just to be fair, the old Hokage returned, making sure that I held up the same type of bargain, to which he did with a sure nod. Of course, I expected that, and Samui already told me that she agrees to the conditions also, I replied, and Sarutobi nodded. Very well then, I hope to see you around, Sarutobi said to him, and nodded, but then he decided to ask for something else. Oh, by the way, Sarutobi, we're going to be here for a few weeks, so may I suggest that twice every week that Naruto and Samui train together. To help them get used to each other, I suggested, and Sarutobi nodded. He completely agreed with that action. Naruto and Samui glanced at each other for a few seconds before they tore their gazes away as Naruto watched Samui and her team leave the room along with their Raikage. Well, now that that's over with, would you mind telling me who this is? Sarutobi asked, staring at Kyoko, who simply smiled as she stood to her feet. I thought all Kage knew the people in their bingo books, Kyoko said, and Sarutobi raised an eyebrow at her while Naruto explained. Gigi, this is Kyoko Fura, an A-ranked missing nin from Kiri. We convinced her to come to Konoha with us, Naruto said, and that news was almost enough to make Sarutobi almost fall out of his chair, making the others chuckle at him. Sarutobi straightened up and coughed, getting his composure back. I see. Well, that is some news to me. Tell me, why do you want to join Konoha? Sarutobi asked, and Kyoko looked at Naruto. The blonde smiled with a nod while Kyoko sighed. She rubbed the back of her head before she finally spoke. I'd rather not be a criminal and chased by Hunter Nin for the rest of my life. The brat right here seems to think that I might do some good in Konoha, so I want to see where that takes me. I can offer you my services if that's what you'd like, Kyoko said, and Sarutobi nodded. Well, it's not every day that I meet an ex-swordsman of Kiri. I suppose I can find a job for you. Well, it's not like I couldn't. Given your missing nin rank, I have almost no choice but to make you a jonin. And I have your first mission for you. On the days that Naruto and Samui train together, I want you to be their teacher also. It'll help me stall till I can find out where you belong, Sarutobi told her, and Kyoko nodded. The Sandaime went into his drawer and pulled out a small piece of paper. Just fill that out for me and return it to me tomorrow. I can set you up with a house in a few minutes, and her as your headband and vest, the Hokage told her, and Kyoko looked at the vest. She slightly frowned as she figured that the vest wasn't a good combination with her hair, but she heard about jonin who didn't wear their vests, so she figured that she'd do that also. Very well, Hokage-sama. I'll return this to you tomorrow. See you later, brat, Kyoko said, walking out of the room, and she closed the door. Naruto chuckled while Sarutobi brought everyone's attention back to him. Job well done, Team 8. Your pay will be given to over the week. It seems you were right about them, Anko. They really do know how to handle themselves. Hehe. Naruto almost reminds me of Sasuke, Sarutobi said, and the blonde raised an eyebrow. How do I remind you of that, Tem? Naruto asked, and Sarutobi closed his eyes with a small chuckle. Well, when Sasuke learned that you went on a C-rank mission already, he went ballistic and told us that he wanted one also. Kakashi tried to stop him, but we relented and let him go on one. He left about a day ago, Sarutobi said, and Naruto secretly grinned. That the tem for ya. Well, I'm not losing to him, Naruto said mentally before Sarutobi dismissed them all from the office. Everyone walked the streets of Konoha as they all felt more refreshed from the meeting. So what's everyone going to do now? Naruto asked while Shikamaru yawned. I'm going home and hitting my bed. I've got no more reasons to be awake. See ya later, Shikamaru said as he walked off waving goodbye to his friends, making Naruto and the others chuckle at him. I'm going back home. I have some things to do. Bye Naruto-kun, Hinata said as she walked off, also leaving Naruto, Anko and Kurenai in the streets. Well, I've got to do the mission report so that I can turn it into Hokage-sama. See you tomorrow Naruto-kun if you're not too busy with your girlfriend, Anko cooed as she walked away, making Naruto blush. Wanna go home Ka-chan? Naruto asked and Kurenai ruffled his hair while she smiled. She quickly nodded as they walked back home. Along the way there, both Kurenai and Naruto could feel the obvious stares on them both. Stares of perversion for Kurenai and stares of hate for Naruto, which the two of them glared coldly at everyone, making most people gulp and turn their heads to avoid the Ice Queen and what some people called the Ice Fox. You've gotten better with your glare Naruto-kun, Kurenai said, and Naruto narrowed his eyes at one man, making him gulp and sweat in bullets. Anyone who stares at my Ka-chan like this deserves a stare. Besides, you taught me how to use it, Naruto said, and Kurenai nodded. The two climbed the stairs of their apartment and Naruto opened the door. Kurenai turned on the lights to their place and the two sighed as they rested on the couch. So how was your genin team? Naruto asked and Kurenai sighed. They should teach more stuff at the academy. It's good that they passed, but they still have a lot to improve on. I can only hope that they do well, Kurenai said, and Naruto chuckled. Hey, you taught me with my high chakra reserves how to do some great genjutsu. I think you'll be fine with a genin team, Naruto said, and Kurenai snorted. She did see the small logic in that, as it took quite a while to get Naruto to have excellent chakra control to project genjutsu, but she felt so happy when he was able to do it. It brought a lot of joy to her heart that Kurenai could teach her son genjutsu. I suppose you're right. Well, we're free, so anything you want to do? Kurenai asked, and Naruto thought it over. He didn't really have anything planned. Well, I guess we can go for a walk if you have the time, Naruto said, and Kurenai was about to agree to it before she heard a knock at the door. The red-eyed Jonin quickly opened the door and saw Hana wave to her. Hana, what are you doing here? Kurenai asked as Hana grinned. Yugao and I scored some free dango meal tickets. Wanna come? We were just about to go invite Anko, Hana said, but Kurenai shook her head. Thanks, but I was just about to spend some time with my son. I might go another time, she said, but Naruto patted her shoulder. It's alright Ka-chan, we'll just go another time. Go have some fun, Naruto told her, and Kurenai reluctantly nodded. She quickly changed her clothes and followed Hana out past the door. Naruto sighed as he headed for his room. The blonde opened the door and laid on his bed. He unzipped his jacket and watched Mikata slither out. Are you okay Naruto-sama? She asked, and the blonde nodded. He quickly sat up and softly petted Mikata from her head to her tail. I'm fine, just bored. I guess I'll go back and walk around the village. Are you going to stay here? Naruto asked, and Mikata nodded. She forked her tongue and slithered across the floor. There is a moose here. I can smell him. Time to hunt. See ya Naruto-sama, Mikata said as she slithered away while Naruto got changed. He put on a blue sleeves shirt and some black pants. He quickly walked out of the house and entered back into the streets of his village. Naruto sighed as he looked around at the people conversing. He had nothing to do really, so he was mostly bored. He could train, but he'd be training with Samui tomorrow, so he figured that he could use this as a day off. Let's see, what can I do? Naruto wondered until he decided to see if anyone was at the training grounds. The blonde quickly went to the rooftops and dashed for the training grounds. He'd head for the Forest of Death, but he knew no one would be there. So on that note, the blonde quickly ran off, leaving no one to recognize his presence. Random training ground. Naruto jumped to the ground and looked around. He saw no one there inside. Oh well, I guess I have this place to myself, Naruto said as he laid near a tree. He quickly looked up at the sky and soon he found why Shikamaru liked to have a view like this. It was great. The trees were swaying and the blonde easily fell asleep enjoying the serenity of the forest. Naruto yawned as he opened his eyes. He looked up to see that the sun was going down and wondered how long he had been up. The blonde leaned up and rubbed his head. How long was I asleep? Naruto asked himself, but then he was surprised by a response. Maybe longer than an hour. You shouldn't leave yourself exposed like that. It's not cool, someone said as Naruto looked up into the tree. He raised an eyebrow when he saw Samui reading a book. Is that so? Well, other than you there seems to be no one else here. Naruto returned to his fiancée and Samui kept her expression impassive. If I was an enemy I might have killed you, Samui said and Naruto chuckled while he sat down under the tree again. I didn't know my fiancé was supposed to kill me, Naruto replied to her comment and Samui's eyebrows slightly twitched. If you're so easygoing then you'll end up dead one day. It's not cool to be too relaxed, she said and Naruto shrugged his shoulders. Well, maybe I was pretending to sleep when you found me. Consider that. Naruto asked her and the blonde Kunoichi stayed silent for a few moments before turning to him. I did not. Maybe you're right. So were you pretend sleeping? Samui asked him and Naruto gave a simple shrug again as he walked into the field. Nah, but I could have been. So what are you doing out here? The blonde asked and Samui placed her book from her face. Enjoying the quiet. What are you doing here? Samui asked and Naruto quickly stopped in the middle of the field. Resting after my mission. Got nothing better to do, Dadbeo, Naruto said before he moved to the side to dodge a kunai. It'd be cool if you trained. We are meeting together tomorrow in case you forgot, Samui told him and Naruto chuckled as he took the kunai and twirled it in his hands. I know it's tomorrow. How about I train and you give me a smile? You haven't smiled once since I saw you a few hours ago, Naruto told her and Samui rolled her eyes. You're weird, you know that, Uzumaki-san? Samui asked and Naruto chuckled. Naruto is fine, Samui-chan, and besides it's Yuhi Uzumaki, Naruto told her and Samui merely nodded as if going with what he said. I see. Well, at least you're not how I figured you might be, she said and Naruto raised an eyebrow as he threw her kunai back at her. Oh, and how did you figure I might be? Naruto asked while Samui put her book away and jumped to the ground. Naruto watched her come down easily while she advanced towards him. Didn't really have much of an opinion, but let's just say that with Karui's imagination I was slightly worried to meet you. No offense to you, Samui said impassively and Naruto agreed with her. None taken, Samui. Mind it without an honorific? He asked and she nodded that it was fine as she didn't really care much for the honorifics either. Samui is cool, I guess. Just figured I should get to know you a little before we train tomorrow, Samui told him and Naruto nodded. I see. Well, that's always nice to hear. So what do you want to know about me? Naruto asked and Samui shrugged her shoulders. Nothing comes to mind yet. It'll be cool if you told me how you train, Samui said and Naruto chuckled before he turned to her. Well, I could tell you that, but I hardly know you also. Can I ask you a question then? Naruto asked and Samui nodded. The blonde smirked and looked at the sky. What's your last name? You answer me that and I'll answer yours, Naruto said and Samui's gaze grew cold. Naruto narrowed his eyes and he gave his best cold glare also. The two stared at each other for a bit while their blue eyes collided against each other. They soon stopped and Samui sighed. I don't have a last name. I never knew my parents. I only have my brother Atsui, Samui responded and Naruto nodded. He sighed as he wondered if he brought back a bad memory. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't know you had that type of past, Naruto said, and Samui shrugged her shoulders. It's cool. I've mostly got over it, Samui said to him, and Naruto nodded. I didn't know my parents either. No one really tells me about them, Naruto said while Samui raised an eyebrow. If I recall correctly, then you called the Genjutsu mistress, Ka-chan. Kurenai-san, isn't she your mother? Samui asked, and Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Adoptive mother, but yeah. I love her and she's taught me a lot as if I was her own son. So I took on her last name and added it to my name, Naruto said with a gentle smile as he sat down under a tree. Samui remained standing looking at her future husband. I see. Well, that's cool, Samui said, feeling some small amount of respect for Naruto coming around. Oh, and to answer your question, I mostly trained to be an all-rounded shinobi, but I prefer Genjutsu above the others, Naruto said, and Samui nodded. Well, alright. It looks like it's getting late. I guess I'd better go unless you have any more questions. Samui asked, and Naruto turned to see the moon going down. He shook his head as he stood to his feet. He quickly dusted himself off and walked over to Samui. He held out his hand, making the Kumo nin look at him strangely. We never really introduced ourselves to each other, right? Well, I'd like to do that now. Just think of it as a small step to getting to know my fiancé Dadbeo, Naruto said, grinning, and Samui looked at his hand for a bit. She gave a hidden smile, but shook his hand. I'm Naruto Yuhi Uzumaki. It's nice to meet you, Samui, Naruto said to her, and Samui nodded. I'm Samui from Kumo. It's nice to meet you, Naruto, Samui told him, and the blonde chuckled as he let go. The two began to walk back to the village while Samui seemed to be in deep thought. Something bothering you? Naruto asked, and Samui turned to him. The way you talk, that, Dadbeo. What's up with it? Samui asked, and Naruto sheepishly chuckled in embarrassment. Ka-chan calls it a verbal tick. It's something I've always said without meaning to. And what about you saying cool a lot? Naruto asked, as he knew it had to do with her name in a way. Samui coughed in her hand out of simple embarrassment. It's nothing. It's just a cool word. I like it, Samui said, and Naruto chuckled, which got her confused. What's funny? Is it something I said? She asked, and Naruto held his hands in defense. No, Samui-chan. It's just that you're interesting and a lot more mature than some of the people I hang out with, Naruto responded, and Samui seemed to accepted that. Is that a compliment? She asked, and the blonde male Jinchuriki quickly nodded that it was, which made Samui's mood lighten a bit. Yeah, it was. So how do you like Konoha? He asked, and quickly Samui's expression went back to being impassive. It's a nice village. I haven't had the opportunity to come here, so it'll be a new experience, Samui answered, and Naruto nodded. It was then that they entered the village, and immediately Naruto's stomach grumbled while he blushed in embarrassment. Also against her wishes, Samui let out a small smile. I guess I'll go and let you eat, Samui said, but then Naruto grabbed her arm. Oh, come on and eat with me. You've got nothing better to do, so let's go, Naruto told her as he dragged Samui to his favorite place. Samui had never been manhandled before, so this was kind of new to her, to his favorite stand. After a bit of walking, Naruto opened the curtain while Samui followed inside. It wasn't her intention to be out this long, but somehow she stayed while Naruto sat on a seat and Samui sat next to him. Hey Tuki Oji-san, mind getting me and Samui some ramen? I'll take one miso. How about you, Samui-chan? Naruto asked, and the blonde girl sighed. She wasn't much on eating such things, not that they had ramen in Kumo, or maybe they did and she just didn't know about it nor taste it. I guess some shrimp ramen is okay, Samui said, and Tuki nodded. One miso and one shrimp. You got it, he said while Naruto looked around. Where's Ayane? Naruto asked as Tuki began to do his work. She's gone to the bank. She won't be back for a while, Tuki said, and Naruto shrugged his shoulders. Soon Tuki poured the two their bowls and Naruto handed Samui her chopsticks. Samui looked at Naruto with a glare while the blonde simply smiled. The blonde girl sighed and took the chopsticks. She watched as Naruto dug into his food while looking down at her own. Naruto turned to her and gulped some of his noodles. Are you alright? Is it not good? Naruto asked and Samui shook her head. No, I just don't eat food like this, but I'll try it, Samui said as she picked up the noodles and placed them in her mouth. She slightly widened her eyes before turning her head to see Naruto smiling at her. Samui raised an eyebrow at him, but knew why she was smiling. They were really good noodles. She couldn't deny that fact. Granted, they were the only noodles she'd ever had, but they were still good. I take it you like them? Naruto asked and Samui looked back at the still full bowl of noodles. They're cool, I guess. Yeah, they're quite good, Samui said, and Naruto finished his bowl. Samui took a little longer, but she finished also. Naruto paid Tuki and the two left. Alright Samui, I'll see you tomorrow at the training ground where we met last time, Naruto told Our, and Samui nodded. She slowly waved goodbye to him as the two walked in separate directions. Unknown to the two, there were 5 shadows watching them. Ah, Naruto-kun just had his first date. I told you that girl was cute, Anko said while Hana and Kurenai came out of the shadows. I'd rather not interfere with my son's life, Anko. Why are we even here? Kurenai asked and Anko grinned as she smiled. Are you kidding, Nai-chan? Those two were made for each other, even if that Samui is slightly more serious than someone would like, Anko said while Hana chuckled. So Naruto's got a fiancé. Never saw it coming. That is going to spread like wildfire in the next few days, Hana said, and Kurenai could agree with that. Well, Samui Uzumaki sounds like a nice name, or maybe it's Samui Yuhi Uzumaki. Who knows how something like that goes, Anko said, and Kurenai slightly snorted. If only Yugao could enjoy this view with us, Hana said before 2 other people joined. See Karui, I told you there was nothing to worry about. Man, you're so protective. I wonder if you're trying to be Samui's mother or something, Omoi said, which earned him a smack on his head. Shut up, Omoi, but I guess you're right. He's at least not an idiot. Heck, it's an accomplishment that he got Samui to even eat with him. She never wants to eat with us, Karui pouted while Omoi chuckled. Maybe she doesn't want to be around your loud mouth that could cause an avalanche, Omoi replied while Karui merely growled before the two vanished out of sight. Looks like we're not the only ones who were interested in this new relations. How nice, Anko said as the 3 shunshined out of sight also. Somehow, Kurenai managed to beat Naruto home, and when the blonde opened the door he saw Kurenai sitting on the couch reading while she was humming. Oh, Ka-chan, you're back. How was it with Anko-ne and Hana-chan? Naruto asked and Kurenai turned around. It was nice, Naruto-kun. Where were you? Kurenai asked with a small snicker while Naruto raised an eyebrow at her. I was out for a bit. Nothing to worry about, Ka-chan. See ya, Naruto said as he went to him room while Kurenai sighed, but that didn't last long as Naruto opened the door. Oh, and Ka-chan, if you, Anko-ne and Hana-chan are going to spy on me, then please use a higher genjutsu, cause I dispelled that rather easily, Naruto said as he closed the door, leaving Kurenai with her eyes widened at the thought that Naruto had caught her without her knowing. She didn't know whether to be proud or scared of that. I wonder if I trained him too well, Kurenai thought before getting to her feet and walking towards her room. Naruto turned on the lights in his room as he saw Mikata curled into the usual ball she was in. The blonde raised an eyebrow before he sat on the bed, and the vibrations made Mikata stir as she uncurled. Naruto-sama, when did you get home? She asked as Naruto put on his night clothes. Just now, Mikata-chan. We've got a busy day tomorrow, so let's get some sleep. Did you find your mouse? Naruto asked and Mikata forked her tongue. Yep, and SSSS settling peacefully in my SSS stomach, Mikata said, making Naruto shiver slightly. He turned out the light and quickly went to sleep while he looked at the ceiling. Samui-chan really is interesting, Naruto said in thought as the sleep claimed him and he went to bed. Next morning, Naruto entered the training grounds as he rubbed the back of his head. He hoped he wasn't late as they didn't really decide on a time for them to begin. He didn't even know why he and Samui were having this little training thing. If they were going to be something, then it should be natural, but who was Naruto to go against 2Kage and their wishes? Oh, he'd really like to at the moment. Naruto continued to walk through the training ground until he saw Samui leaning against a tree with her arms crossed and her eyes closed. I see you came here early also, Naruto said as Samui settled with a small nod. She opened her eyes and saw Naruto looking around. So I take it that Gigi told you Kyoko-chan would be training us? Naruto asked and again Samui nodded again like it was a common thing. Naruto sighed as he rubbed the back of his head. He sat down and leaned next to a tree across from Samui and soon a fog rolled in. The two opened their eyes and saw a small figure arrive. It bigger and bigger before Kyoko came into view with her mask on. So my first mission is training you two, huh? Fine. Let's get this started, Kyoko said as she took out her sword. Naruto tensed and Samui narrowed her eyes. Unlike your softcore Jonin, I won't hold back. Granted, I won't kill you both, but you'll be in for a world of hurt. Think you can beat me? Kyoko asked and Naruto stood to his feet. You mean other than the C-rank genjutsu I used on you, right? Naruto asked and Kyoko slightly grumbled behind her mask before she gave a devious smirk. Samui wondered what Naruto meant by that before Kyoko spoke. Alright brat. Then first rule. No genjutsu. Any use of it and you two will be running laps around this training field till you drop, Kyoko said with a smirk and Naruto gulped. Samui grabbed the tanto on her back and Naruto grabbed his kodachi. Here I come brats. Try keep up with me, Kyoko said as she vanished in the mist. Naruto and Samui sighed as their training together began and they were already mentally regretting it. And that's training you too. Good work, Kyoko said to a slashed up Samui and a bruised Naruto. The two were huffing like mad as they saw Kyoko smiling at them with a grin on her face. Both glared at her before Naruto stood to his feet. He walked over to Samui and held out his hand. The blonde looked at it before grabbing it as Naruto pulled her to her feet. Thanks, she said while Naruto smiled. No problem, he responded as he saw the state of her being. She really looked a little worse for wear and that was probably an understatement. The same could be said of Samui as she saw the cuts across Naruto's body. You look like you got sent through a shredder, Naruto told her while Samui looked down at her clothes. She slightly rolled her eyes at his statement while she pointed at him. You're not one to talk, she returned and Naruto looked at his clothes. He really didn't look any better and that made the blonde blush in embarrassment with a slight nod. I suppose you're right. Hey Kyoko. Naruto paused when he saw that he and Samui were the only ones in the field. She must have left while they were talking. Samui saw they were alone also before Naruto narrowed his eyes. I hate it when she does that, Naruto said, which caused Samui to shrug her shoulder in response. I'm sure she's got something to do. That's why she left, Samui said with a small sigh. Naruto noticed it and scratched his cheek. Are you alright? He asked and Samui looked at the forested areas. They would be her home soon. They'd be where she was training, spending practices and planning missions. They were so different from the mountainous Kumo. I'm fine. Well Naruto-san, I'll see you later. Stay cool, she said walking off and Naruto could feel the lack of enthusiasm in her voice. He narrowed his eyes before he left the field also. Streets. Naruto walked the streets of Konoha as he was alone. His team had no missions due to his and Samui's training together. He'd have one tomorrow, he knew that much for sure, but he also wondered how his friends would react when they found out that he was going to get married. That would be the shocker of a lifetime for them all. Now that he thought about, how would Samui react when she learned that he was a Jinchuriki? He'd rather not be rejected just for that. He could only hope that she wasn't like other people. Great. That's one thing in my head that I didn't need, Naruto thought to himself before he saw people running towards him. He squinted his eyes before he gulped. He saw all his friends charging at him and the blonde was about to run before he was immediately caught in a shadow possession by Shikamaru. Traitor! Naruto yelled while Shikamaru rubbed the back of his head with a small sigh. Kiba grabbed Naruto's collar while he moved in front of his face. Is it true, man? Are you really engaged to someone from Kumo? Kiba asked while Sasuke, Ino, Sakura, Choji and oddly enough Shino wanted to know also. Naruto rubbed the back of his head before he nodded, making everyone gasp as Kiba dropped Naruto to the ground. They all seemed surprised and shocked, or at the very least confused. Why would Kumo do a political marriage to Naruto? Normally you do it to the last of a clan to help with restoration, Sakura said while Ino smacked her over the head, making the pink-haired girl growl. Damn it, Ino Baka, what was that for? She asked while Ino glared at her. Shut up, forehead. If they want to do a political marriage to one of our shinobi, then why should they? Ino asked and Naruto raised an eyebrow while Sasuke sighed. Since the two were the ruling guys who had the most fangirls, which was oddly enough even right down the middle. They were called by the girl, the two male academy students. It was weird to try and get used to that, but it was the way things went. So you're tied to the ball and chain already, huh? Choji asked while Naruto narrowed his eyes. He got to his feet and glared at the chubby shinobi, making everyone gulp underneath his gaze. Don't talk about Samui-chan that way ever again, Naruto told him, and Choji immediately nodded with a sorry. Naruto softened as he walked off with his hands in his pockets. Sensitive much? Sakura asked while Ino shrugged her shoulders. How would you feel if someone insult the person you were supposed to marry? The blonde asked and everyone nodded in agreement with her about that. No one wanted their future spouse, no matter who it was, to be insulted. So Sasuke-kun, tell everyone how you defeated that ice user during our C-rank mission, Sakura said, and Sasuke closed his eyes. It was a C-rank mission to help a bridge builder. That ice user's name was Haku and we fought an A-rank missing nin called Zabuza. Kakashi-sensei was able to match him while me and Kiba were able to work together to take down Haku. Sakura stood guard over the bridge builder. I think his name was Tazuna. They were able to finish the bridge and so it was called the Great Wave Bridge. Kind of a weird name, but at least we completed our mission, Sasuke said to everyone while Kiba grinned. If it wasn't for our teamwork that we got down during Kakashi-sensei's exercise, then we'd be dead. I thought Uchiha were supposed to be arrogant, but Sasuke and Makoto-san are the good ones, Kiba said while Sasuke closed his eyes. I might be strong, but I can't take on everyone by myself. It's important to be realistic, Sasuke said while Sakura blushed. Then Sasuke-kun, how about a date? Sakura asked and Sasuke rolled his eyes before walking off. I just said it's important to be realistic, Sasuke said as he disappeared while Sakura pouted. Kiba chuckled at her before he walked off along with Shino, Choji and Shikamaru. Ino and Sakura were left alone in the streets while the blonde turned to the pink kunoichi. Wanna go see what Hinata's doing? Ino asked and Sakura shrugged her shoulders before walking off in the direction of the Hyuga compound. With Naruto, the blonde walked around the village for a bit as he rubbed the back of his head. He didn't mean to snap at Choji the way he did, but he'd rather not have people making fun of others without knowing them. It just irked him for some reason. Maybe it's because of how his life was treated. As the blonde walked the streets of Konoha, he soon heard a "Kya," as he paled. The blonde gulped as he turned around. He saw a multitude of fangirl with a banner and picture of Naruto in his shinobi attire along with what he thought was Mikata wrapped around his neck. Naruto-sama. They all yelled while the blonde stepped back. Immediately the girls charged at the blonde, cursed as he ran away. The civilians watched the chaos, and while some didn't want to, they laughed at the blonde's misfortune. Kuso. Who made fangirls anyway? Naruto wondered as he hopped to the rooftops. He huffed before he saw some of them hop up also. He cursed when he slightly forgot that he was also dealing with graduating Kunoichi from the academy. The blonde quickly jumped off the building and hit the streets again. Man, they're persistent. How do I get out of here? Naruto wondered as he felt someone grab his arm as he was pulled into an alleyway. The blonde looked as the girls flew by, and when they were gone he sighed in relief. Thanks I owe you, Naruto said as the person, or rather people. He saw Omoi and Karui leaning against the walls. You can owe us by not marrying Samui, Karui said with a glare that Naruto noticed. He narrowed his eyes back at her glare while Omoi rolled his eyes as he slightly pushed Karui out of the way. Sorry about her, Naruto-san. She's just moody from time to time. She hates political marriages in general, not really the people involved, Omoi told him, and Naruto nodded even if it was hesitant while Samui stomped her foot on the ground. Why do things like this even exist? It's all a load of crap, Karui said more to herself than to them as Naruto got to his feet. Yeah, I never thought I'd be in one, but Samui is really interesting. She acts cold, but she's really caring. I can tell from the way she fights. She was really able to back me up all the way, Naruto said while Karui and Omoi stared at him. That's Samui. She's always been like that since the first time we've met her. She's always had our back. We know that. Well, I see nothing wrong with you, Naruto-san, so I hope you make her happy, Omoi told him, and Naruto nodded with a small smile while Karui rolled her eyes. Don't worry, I'll do my best to make her happy, Naruto told them, making Omoi nodded as he dragged Karui out of the alleyway. Naruto felt the alley also, but he did it with more caution as he looked left and right. He quickly stepped out and hopped to the rooftops back home to his mother's apartment. With Samui. Samui laid on her bed with her eyes closed as she contemplated everything. She wondered what marriage would be like. She'd seen plenty of couples in Kumo and few of them were married. She even remembered getting unwanted advice on marriage which she didn't think that she'd need for a long time. Boy, was she wrong. It'd be a lie if Samui said that she wasn't nervous about the whole thing. She was, but she could hide it pretty well. From what she saw, Naruto was an alright person. He could be cheery at one time and dead serious the next. He was interesting to her at the least. His fighting was superb in her opinion. He could cover all areas of combat from long range to close range. She could at least say that if she was going to be married, then Naruto was a nice choice. Soon there was a knock on her door which broke Samui from her observation of Naruto as she sat upright on the bed. Come in, she said, and immediately Karui and Omoi came through the door. They sat in a chair and leaned against the wall. In my opinion, Samui, he's alright. I think he could lighten your cold mood, Omoi told her, and Samui casted a small glare at her teammate, making him shudder. Someone has to be the cool one in this group, she said while Karui's eyebrow twitched as she rocked in her chair. What's that supposed to mean? She asked, and Samui gave a small unnoticeable smile. I'm saying that you two are too hot-headed at times, so that's why I shouldn't be like that, the blonde responded, and Karui growled while Omoi rubbed his head. He rummaged through his pockets and pulled out a lollipop. He let it settle in his mouth for a small while. Well, I think he's alright. What about you, Karui? Omoi asked, and the redhead scratched the back of her head. She looked away from their views while she gave her opinion. I still think this is stupid, but Omoi's right. He's something, I guess. I don't have a real opinion even though he makes me irritated, Karui said while Omoi rolled his eyes. You're always irritated, it makes no difference who it is, Omoi said before Karui punched him over the head. Samui sighed at her two teammates as she looked out the window at the village. She slowly sighed as she wondered what the future held for her. With Naruto, the blonde opened the door to the apartment and saw a note on the fridge door. He quickly took it down and looked at it. Naruto. Hey Naruto-kun. I've got a mission with some of the other Jonin, so I won't be back for some time, maybe about 2 days or 3. Anko is probably the only one left behind. Stay safe for me. There are leftovers from last night's dinner inside. Heat it up and eat if you'd like. See you soon. Your mother, Kurenai Yuhi. Naruto sighed as he opened the fridge. He took out a small glass and some milk. He poured it and quickly drank it. Naruto bit his thumb as he slammed the ground. Kuchio's no jutsu, Naruto yelled as there was a small poof. He saw a medium-sized black-colored python as it stood on its stomach. Hello Naruto-sama. Is it that time already? The python asked and Naruto nodded. He unzipped his jacket and Mikata slithered out. She forked her tongue before turning around. I'll miss you Naruto-sama, Mikata told him. Naruto knelt down with a small smile and nod. He softly petted Mikata before he pulled back and watched her slither over to the python. Get ready girl. We're leaving, he said to her and Mikata nodded. She slithered to the seal and they both poofed out of sight in a reverse summon. As Naruto's familiar Mikata would need training back at the home for the snakes. She'd be gone for a good little while, but that was alright. Naruto knew he would miss her, but she was doing all this for his sake. Be careful Mikata-chan, Naruto said to himself as he stared at the open space. He sighed as he didn't really have anything to do for the moment. He then heard a knock at the door and quickly opened it. He saw Anko and Kyoko right behind the door. The blonde raised an eyebrow at their presence as he wondered what they wanted. Kyoko-chan, Anko-ne, what are you guys doing here? Naruto asked and the two smiled. We're going to a special place. Come with us, they said, and before Naruto could say no, they dragged him out of the door and were sure to close it after they left. Wait, Anko-ne, where are we going? Naruto asked as he was dragged back into the streets. Naruto had never been manhandled by women before. It was a weird experience for the blonde as they took him through a corner. We're heading to a nice little place. A place that the Raikage set up for us. Samui will there, Anko said while Naruto sighed. It felt like they were rushing this. The blonde figured he had enough time to get to know Samui and it's not like he had to be with her every day. Who knows how these people thought? It was staggering to the blonde. Anko and Kyoko stopped in front of a door and knocked on it. The door immediately opened, showing a small little cafe. Naruto tried to sneak away, but Kyoko grabbed him and set him down in a chair. He saw Samui across from the table while he sighed. I take it you were forced here also? Naruto asked and Samui closed her eyes with an irritated nod in agreement. The blonde rubbed the back of his head. Sorry about this. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable at all. We can go if you want, Naruto told her and Samui shook her head. She placed her elbows on the table while she looked out the window. It's alright Naruto-san. In truth I did want to see you again. If only not in the same day since we spent all morning and early afternoon together. I know it's not your fault. I'm not used to relations, so this is a new experience for the both of us, Samui said, and Naruto could agree to that. He'd never been in any relations due to his fangirls. So what are we supposed to do here? I mean the others left like so fast, so what should we do? Naruto asked and soon a cup was set in front of Samui. It appeared to be coffee, but the way she looked at it, maybe it wasn't what she thought she'd expect. Something wrong with the coffee? He asked and Samui gently chuckled. It's not coffee. It's a special blend of ingredients. It's something that they have in Kumo. I'm surprised that they sell it here, Samui said, taking a small sip while Naruto looked out the window. You really like Kumo, don't you? He asked as Samui placed her cup down. She silently nodded and Naruto didn't have to see it to know that she did. Of course she loved it, why wouldn't she? So tell me Samui-chan, do you have any dreams? Naruto asked her and Samui thought it over. She never really thought about her dreams before as she never really aspired for anything, except to be a strong shinobi for her village. I never had one. I'm still thinking it over. How about you? She asked and Naruto slightly pointed towards the Hokage stone faces. Samui looked at them and the blonde smiled. My dream is to protect everyone in this village as the first Genjutsu Master Hokage, Naruto said to her and Samui raised an eyebrow. It was an odd dream and that wasn't like normal people, but then again she could figure that Naruto wasn't normal. That's a nice dream for you to have. I can see why you would be like that, the blonde girl told the blonde boy and Naruto thanked her for it. The two spent some time talking to each other since they both didn't have anything better to do. It was nice to get to know the other so there could be a sense of familiarity between them. As far as they knew they weren't strangers anymore, but friends was a bit of a wall they hadn't come to yet. So for now they were acquaintances. Samui got up from her seat finally and sighed. Well, I'll see you later, Naruto-san. It was nice talking to you, Samui told him and Naruto nodded. He got up and left also just as easy. Anko, Kyoko and aside as they closed their eyes. That could have gone better, don't you think? Kyoko asked and Anko nodded in agreement. Well, in any case they know each other. Let's give them some space for now before they both explode in front of us, said making Anko and Kyoko agree. Well, we've got a mission tomorrow so that works out well for us, Anko responded with a nicker while Kyoko rolled her eyes. Well, that's good for you, but I've got to be teaching brats about swords and the like. Sigh, I guess I'll head to the blacksmith to check out my sword. Damn, that brat did a number on it, Kyoko said as she sunshined away along with Anko and A. Next morning. So what's the mission, Hokage-sama? Anko asked and Sarutobi pulled out a scroll. He handed it to them and they all looked at it. This is a mission from the Land of Iron, more precisely the place where samurai dwell nowadays, Sarutobi said and Naruto grinned. That'd be the chance to get some good medals and upgrade his kodachi if he could. He'd heard that the people who made weapons there were on par with the 7 swordsmen of the mist. Kyoko could attest to that as she said she'd been to the Land of Iron before. Hinata and Shikamaru noticed the gleam in Naruto's eyes and so did Anko as Sarutobi continued. This mission is to retrieve metals from one of our suppliers. It's at least 5 to 6 days way. This material is important as it makes up the metal that Anbu use in their swords. If we lose this then we'll have to wait for another 2 months for that metal, Sarutobi said making Naruto's eyes shine even brighter while Shikamaru rubbed the back of his head. You're too happy about this mission. How troublesome, Shikamaru said and Hinata could agree, but she didn't mind it so much as she liked that about Naruto. Alright Gaki, it's time for us to go then. Let's head out in 10 minutes. That's enough for you to get any extra things, Anko told them and everyone nodded as they left the room. Naruto hopped back home to go and fetch his kodachi. He'd be lucky if he could find a blacksmith to fix his sword. He also remembered Samui's Tanto along with Karui and Omoi swords. Maybe he'd be able to grab some metal for them also. He doubted they would reforge them, but it was worth anything to try and make them all happy. Naruto opened the door to his house and quickly walked into his room. He noticed something on his dresser and looked at it. It was another note from Kurenai. He wondered how he had never noticed that since last night. He quickly picked up the note and read it. Naruto. Here is your allowance, son. Don't spend it all in one place. Kurenai. Naruto grinned as he took the money on his dresser and placed it in his wallet. It was a simple 3,000 yen, but that was all right to him. He was just happy to be paid. Not that he didn't already have money. He still had another 10,000 yen from his mission a few days ago. He was also just happy that they weren't doing any D ranks. They'd be switching sensei and teammates in a few more weeks, so he'd meet someone new. Alright, now I can go, Naruto said to himself as he left the room. He also looked at the special shuriken he got from Sasuke on his birthday those years ago. It still made him smile, but he picked it up and brought it along also. Seeing that he had everything, Naruto left the room. He then realized that this would be his first mission without Mikata by his side. The blonde narrowed his eyes as he sighed. He really missed her already. The way she always slithered around his body was a memorable thing to the blonde. Come on, Naruto. She'll be back. So just wait for that time, Naruto said as he left the apartment. He quickly met up with his team and they all left the village without any problems. So Anko-sensei, is Anbu metal different from ours? Hinata asked and the snake mistress chuckled as she turned around. She quickly took out a kunai and held it in front of Hinata. Yeah, they are. Anbu are the village's elite, so they need elite metals. All our kunai, shuriken and other supplies are the same, but Anbu get better materials for their clothes, armor and swords. Their swords are made of special chakra responders that lock to the Anbu's unique chakra signature. They are the only ones who have such a thing, but the land of iron is abundant in such things. The ports are usually closed off, so we'll be walking there. We'll be lucky if we get any metal, Anko said while Shikamaru yawned. Please, with our luck we'll probably run into an S-rank missing nin this time. Just like that Kyoko-san. What a drag, Shikamaru said while Anko her hand around Shikamaru's neck. No complaining, Gaki. Now then, let's head for the first rest point. Last one pays for everyone's dinner, Anko said as she shot off. Naruto ran after her while Hinata and Shikamaru sighed. They quickly ran after their sensei and teammate. Back in Konoha, Sarutobi was currently doing his paperwork as usual before he heard the doorknob twist. He could feel the massive chakra signature behind the door and grinned as he saw a walk in. Had you been anyone else you'd be executed for barging in, Sarutobi told him while he closed his eyes. He folded his arms while he glared at the old Hokage. I'm sure you would, but enough about that. I need to return to Kumo as I don't want to leave it alone for too long. I'd like to leave Samui, Omoi and Karui here for a little while longer, at least 2 more weeks, then they can come back. Samui will participate in the Chunin exams in the coming months, as I'm sure Naruto-san will also, said, which made Sarutobi nod in agreement. I understand, but why the sudden urge? Aren't things going well back in Kumo? Hiruzen wondered and nodded. They are great and normal. It's just that a cage should never be away from their village for too long, responded, and Sarutobi could definitely agree with that. It wouldn't be wise for a cage to be gone or trouble would start to brew. Well, I'll send some Anbu to escort you back. It's not wise to travel alone either. Take care, the Sandaime said to the Yondaime Raikage as he left the room while Sarutobi looked at the large stack of paperwork. Funny, I could have sworn that I had done more than that, Sarutobi said to himself as he wondered if his paperwork was a living thing. It had to be, or there was no logical explanation for it. Back with Team 8, Shikamaru groaned as he looked at the bill to the lunch they just had. Anko and Naruto grinned while Hinata consoled the Nara. The pineapple-haired genin paid for the meal as they all left the place. Man, that cleared me out. How nice is that? Shikamaru wondered while Anko took out a map. She looked at the place for a second before she narrowed her eyes. Everyone noticed the look of agitation on her face while Anko turned to them. Come on, you guys. It turns out that the Land of Iron is hosting a sale all week. We'll have to hurry to get the metal, or the supplier said he'd auction it off and we can't allow that. Let's go now, Anko said as they couldn't take a leisurely stroll anymore. Everyone rushed through the trees as they hurried to the Land of Iron. They had to skip a couple of breaks, but that would be fine. For right now they just had to focus on getting there. The sun was soon going down and they would need to hurry. Anko-sensei, what happens if the metal is auctioned off? Shikamaru asked, and the purple-haired Jonin narrowed her eyes. Then whoever wins it will get the medal and we will fail our mission. It's not our supplier's fault. It's a simple rule in the Land of Iron. During the special events you sell all of your high-quality items to all the people who are willing to pay for them. If we don't collect our things now, then we'll have to wait for another 2 months to get supplies, and knowing how the Anbu are with missions, then you can see the weight of it all, can't you? Anko asked, making Naruto, Shikamaru and Hinata nod. How did you know that they were holding a sale? Naruto asked, and Anko pulled out a book. She gave it to Naruto and the blonde took it. Hinata and Shikamaru closed in next to him, with the former giving a small blush, but wanted to see also. They looked at a Land of Iron book that told about specific dates and events that would be happening from now into 2 years. Wow, where did you get this book? Naruto asked her, and Anko pointed back in the direction of their village. It was being sold at a local bookstore, so I bought it. Now you see why we have to hurry. We really chose the worst time to get this mission, Anko said, making the others nod. Will we be meeting other shinobi also? Hinata asked, and Anko nodded, making the others raise their eyebrows. It's only AC rank because it's classified as a simple retrieval, but the odds of meeting other shinobi is quite high. Land of Iron makes a lot of precious metals. There will be bandits, thieves, and other nations' shinobi. Are you all scared? Anko asked, making Naruto shake his head. Shikamaru rubbed the back of his head, but didn't say anything. Hinata slightly quivered, but she wasn't scared either. Anko grinned like mad as they all ran towards their checkpoint. Alright, that's good. Just one word of advice. Avoid eye contact with anyone you find suspicious. People will not hesitate to pick a fight with you, Anko told them, making the team gulp, but then Naruto said something to help them. That goes double for you, Anko ne, Naruto told her, and making Shikamaru grin while Hinata snickered. Anko's eyebrow twitched as she turned to her brother. What are you talking about? Anko asked, and Naruto rolled his eyes at his faking sister. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That last person who looked at you funny ended up in the hospital for a week. So maybe you should take your own advice, Naruto told her while Anko gasped. He got you there, sensei. The entire village knew about that incident, Shikamaru told her, and Anko scratched the back of her head in embarrassment. That guy's had it coming to him. Now stop lagging behind and hurry up, Anko said, and everyone agreed as they shot for the location. Back in Konoha, 3 days later, Kurenai sighed as she exited the Hokage mansion. It felt good to complete a mission, but she was rather sad that Naruto was gone on a mission of his own. She couldn't wait to have seen him, but then she'd have to wait a little longer. I wonder what I should do now, Kurenai said to herself before she heard a voice from next to her. Excuse me, you're Kurenai Yuhi-san, aren't you? Someone asked her, and she turned to see Samui looked at her. Kurenai instantly recognized her. How could she not? This was her son's fiancée and her soon-to-be daughter-in-law. Whoa, that sounded so strange. Kurenai snapped out of her thoughts before addressing the blonde Kumo Genin. Yes, that's right. How may I help you, Samui-san? Kurenai asked with a small smile, and the Genin glared with the cold gaze that she always had before answering. Well, I'd like to ask you about your son, Naruto Uzumaki-san, if that's alright. May I? She asked, and Kurenai raised an eyebrow before nodding, and the two walked off to a private place. It turned out to be the corner of a small restaurant. Alright, so what did you want to ask me? Kurenai asked, and Samui didn't waste any time. If there was one thing that Kurenai observed about Samui, it was that she could be too serious about things. Maybe that was her nature, Kurenai figured. It's about Naruto-san habits, or rather his stamina. When we were training together, at one point I could feel a large spike in his chakra, and then there is his healing abilities. Is he a Jinchuriki? Samui asked, and Kurenai mentally tensed, and Samui seemed to notice it. Don't misunderstand what I'm asking. I don't hate him or anything. Kumo has 2 Jinchuriki and I'm close to them both. They're Yugito-san and B-sensei. I was just asking because the level of chakra that I think he has is a match for theirs, Samui said, and Kurenai nodded. That could make sense, and the genjutsu mistress sighed while she lightly tapped the table in front of her. While I understand the curiosity, Samui-san, can you tell me why you didn't simply ask Naruto-kun this? Kurenai asked her, and Samui wavered for a second. She slightly rubbed the back of her head. Well, we don't really know each other. I mean, I have hung out with him for a while and we talked for a bit. I think that Raikage-sama and Hokage-sama were trying to get us at a comfortable level around each other. I feel a certain level of comfort, but it wasn't enough for me to want to ask him that question. I didn't want him to think that I was prying, so I didn't ask him, Samui answered, and Kurenai lightly chuckled, making Samui confused. Well, it's not really my place to tell you, as you'll just have to ask Naruto-kun about it. Trust me when he's not offended by much. If you want to know something about him, then he'll tell you. He's just like that. I'm sure there are things about your life he'd like to know also, but doesn't want to pry. Just ask him and trust me that he will answer you when he's ready, Kurenai told her, and Samui and the blonde girl nodded as she got to her feet. Thank you, Kurenai-san. You have an interesting son. I look forward to getting to know him and you some more, Samui said, and she headed for the door of the restaurant, leaving a smiling Kurenai behind. With Team 8, 3 days later. Land of Iron. Anko presented her passport and shinobi license, as did Naruto, Hinata, and Shikamaru. The four had quickly entered the Land of Iron country and were just in time also. Damn, it's cold. Why is it snowing? Shikamaru asked, and Anko chuckled at him. Come on, Shika. Try and toughen up, Anko said to him while the Nara glared at her, but didn't say anything. Thank you and enjoy the events going on, a man said, making the four nod as they entered. They were in a small city with an industrial feel to it. Granted, there was snow all around, but that didn't matter. It was different than the elemental nations, but that was the Land of Iron, they figured. Naruto looked around and saw plenty of people around. Just like Anko said, there were bandits, missing nin, and shinobi from other countries. Anko-sensei, why are shinobi allowed here? I heard that the Land of Iron doesn't accept the 4 great nations, Hinata told her, and Anko nodded. That's right, but we're given special permission from time to time. All the nations are. The Land of Iron is neutral to us all. Its leader is called Mifune. He's in charge. They've never participated in any of the ninja wars, so they're neutral and might remain so. Just don't piss anyone off and you'll be fine, she told them while Shikamaru shivered. Alright, sensei, where is our supplier? Shikamaru asked, trying to warm himself up, and Anko pulled out a map. She pointed to one spot and they all quickly walked, making sure not to have too much eye contact with any one person. Business is booming even in this cold, huh? Naruto asked, and Anko nodded with a grin as they approached a shop. It was where their supplier was, and it turns out that they were just in time too, as they heard someone yell. Hand over that metal. No one's coming, so it's their loss if they don't take it now. Had it over, a big man with a long sword on his back said to the supplier. I'm sorry, sir, but you're going to have to wait 10 more minutes, and if the Konoha shinobi don't take it, then it is yours, but I will wait until those 10 minutes are up, down to the last second, he said, and the big man grumbled with a small nod as he folded his arms. Well, you don't have to wait anymore, as we are here. Sorry to keep you waiting, Anko said, and the man turned to see the 4 people at the door. Konoha, I presume? He asked, and Anko nodded with a small gleam in her eye while the man widened his own eyes. Anko, Naruto, Shikamaru, and Hinata came forward. Papers, please, the man said, and Anko handed the man some papers from Konoha that listed the registration number for Konoha's order. Ah, thank you for your services. Do you have the money? The man asked, and Anko nodded, but then the larger man slammed the counter. What the hell is this? They can't just walk in here and take all that metal. Are you with me? The man asked while Naruto leaned close to Shikamaru. Not like any woman would in his life, Naruto whispered, making Shikamaru stifle a laugh. While Anko carried the materials and easily the Konoha shinobi were about to walk out before the man blocked their path. Don't even think about leaving here with that metal. Hand it over before I kill you, he said as he took out his sword. Anko narrowed her eyes while Hinata and Shikamaru backed away. Naruto glared at him while Anko balled her fists. Move it, Tubby. Anko yelled and the man glared at her. I love a chick who doesn't know how to bite her tongue, the man said, and Naruto narrowed his eyes. His hair covered his eyes as he went through his hand signs. Hinata, Shikamaru and Anko noticed the chakra spike while Naruto walked past Anko and glared at the man. Anko ne looks like we're going to be having some trouble, Naruto said as he slammed the ground. Ninpo. Shin no Otoshiana, Naruto yelled as the ground shook. Immediately the man backed away from the pitfall in front of him as Naruto went through some more hand signs. Kaden. Hokayu no Jutsu, Fire Release. Phoenix Fireball Jutsu, Naruto yelled as he sent the fire towards the man, knocking him out the shop and into an adjacent building, making it explode, drawing people's attention. The man screamed as people say his burnt body. Team 8 exited the shop while Naruto saw everyone looking at them. So much for that plan, Anko said to herself while the store owner came out. Young man, that was amazing. Have you ever considered doing the Land of Irons tournament? It's filled with prizes and the like. The medal you have there is something that's also being presented. It's enough for a year's supply, the man said, and Anko widened her eyes. She grinned like mad and so did Naruto. Shikamaru sighed as he rubbed the back of his head. Are you sure we can enter? Naruto asked. The man nodded with a smile. That's right. Anyone can enter and they all get to stay in a hotel with all expenses paid. It'll be the amazing point to end our event. I'd like it if you stayed, the man said, and Naruto turned to Anko. The snake mistress placed a hand on her and tapped her finger under her chin. Troublesome, but I say Naruto goes for it. It might be fun for him to let loose, Shikamaru said, and Hinata agreed. Anko smirked with a nod. Alright Naruto, go and enter, but if you don't win, I'll come get you, Anko told him, and Naruto gulped, but he nodded and ran off to go sign up for the tournament. Anko-sensei, just how are we to get this to Hokage-sama? Hinata asked, and the purple-haired Jonin bit her thumb. Immediately she summoned a snake and it slithered towards her. How might I help you, Anko-sama? The snake asked, and she handed the bag of metal towards the snake. Please give this to Hokage-sama for us along with this note. Thank you, Anko said, making the snake nod as it dispelled out of sight. Shikamaru and Hinata nodded with that method of choice. Alright, now that our mission is done, shall we go watch? Anko asked, and the two nodded while Naruto came back. They said that the tournament is tomorrow, so we'll have to wait, but I signed up along with Anko ne, Naruto said, making Anko gasped. Why'd you sign me up? She asked, and the blonde rubbed the back of his head with a small smile. Well, I figured if you were in it then would double our chances of winning. You like those odds, don't you? Plus you're wicked strong, Anko ne, Naruto complimented, and Anko blushed. Well, that is true. Alright, I'll fight. I don't see the point, but okay, she said while Naruto turned to Shikamaru and Hinata. Are you two going to join? Naruto asked, and they shook their heads fast at his question. For them, they'd feel better if they didn't get involved unless they had to, and if this tournament went wrong then plenty of fighting would be going on. No, Naruto-kun. I think I'll observe the fights, Hinata said, and Shikamaru nodded in the same respect. I agree. I don't want to work if I don't have to. Good luck to you both, Shikamaru said, rubbing the back of his head. Anko and Naruto nodded before the latter came up to the shop owner. Tell me, do you know where a blacksmith is? Naruto asked him, and the man pointed to himself. Why, young lad, I'm a blacksmith. One of the best in the Land of Iron. How can I help you? He asked, and Naruto took out his two kodachi. Can you repair and upgrade these? I'll pay any cost you want, Naruto said while the man looked over the two swords. Anko, Shikamaru and Hinata watched the interaction between them while the man took out a glass eye and looked it over. This is quite a nice metal. It's very sturdy and very exquisite. A little scratched up, but fine. I can repair this. As for upgrades, what would you like? He asked, and Naruto placed a finger to his chin. He closed his eyes for a second before he wanted to respond. Well, can you come up with something interesting? Naruto asked, and the man nodded. I'll tell ya what. If you or your friend there win the tournament, then this will be free. If not, then you pay. How about that? He asked, and Naruto's eyes gleamed. You got it, Oji-san, Naruto said to him as the two shook hands. Naruto then rummaged through his pockets and pulled out some of the metal that they just got from the supplier. Anko nay, we still have some metal left over, Naruto told her, and Anko looked it over. She saw it was a fairly medium-sized piece. Nothing that would make a difference to the other types that she sent. Use it then. It's nothing serious, Anko told him, and Naruto gave it to the old man. Please upgrade my swords using this metal if you can, Naruto told him, and the old blacksmith smirked as he rubbed his two hands together. Understood, sir, he said while Naruto and the others left, but then the blonde turned around. Hey, can you tell me your name? Naruto asked him, and the man pointed to himself. My name is Muramasa, young one. Who are you? He asked, and Naruto gave a thumbs up. I'm Naruto Yuhi Uzumaki, the next Hokage of Konoha, Naruto said as Team 8 left the shop. The man chuckled to himself as he walked over to a picture. There was a boy in his teens with a sword on his back. He was more or less glaring with a serious face while Muramasa chuckled. If only you could be as lively as him, then you'd be great ninja, Muramasa said before he rolled up his sleeves and began to work over Naruto's kodachi before he saw someone else open the door. The person was obviously female, but she had a hood over her head. She had violet hair as she wore a small kimono dress. She wore some high-heeled boots while she came inside. Good day, Muramasa-san. How are you today? The girl asked. She was about Naruto's age, maybe a year younger. Ah, well, I haven't seen you in a while. I've been well. It's good to see you also, Muramasa said. The girl took a glance at the kodachi. You a collector of short blades now? She asked while Muramasa held up Naruto's swords as he gave a chuckle. No, I'm not. Just met the most interesting young man. He likes these blades like you. He's entering the tournament here in the Land of Iron, Muramasa told her while the hooded girl gave a small smile. I see, well, that nice. Maybe I'll enter just to see what he's like. Also, Ryu-sama sent you this, she said, handing him a scroll. Muramasa took the scroll and smiled. Ah, well, thank you. Do you want some blacksmithing done also? He asked, and the girl placed her kodachi on the counter. Please and thank you. Now to see who this person is that has got you so interested. What's his name? She asked, and Muramasa gave an elderly laugh. His name is Naruto Yuhi Uzumaki. You should watch him closely. He's good, Muramasa said while the violent girl stepped out of the shop. I noticed a bit. Well, hope you watch as I'll be winning that tournament, she said, leaving in a swift manner. Muramasa chuckled at her while he placed her kodachi next to Naruto's. Looks like I'll have to hope that those two fight. It'll be quite interesting to see who wins, Muramasa said to himself before he got back to work. Hokage Mansion. Sarutobi was finished with his work before a poof came on his table. He looked to see a medium-sized snake on his desk with a scroll. Greetings SSS Hokage-sama. This SSSISSS from Anko-sama. Bye-bye, the snake said as it disappeared. Sarutobi looked at the scroll and unsealed it. Immediately precious metal from the Land of Iron fell to the ground and he gasped when a note fell to the floor with it. He raised an eyebrow before he quickly picked up. Hokage-sama. Anko here, Hokage-sama. We've sent you the metal that was for our mission. We'd be on our way back, but Naruto, as we know him, entered a tournament and the prize is a year's supply of this same metal as well as some other things. We'll be back soon just to let you know. Please forward the money and success of the mission to our accounts. Please and thank you. Snake Mistress, Anko Mitarashi. Sarutobi stopped as he looked over the note. He sighed as he shook his head at what Naruto did, but still a year's supply of this metal. It would last Konoha for a long time. Also this was fine as long as they all obeyed the Land of Iron's rules. Sarutobi could only wonder if Mifune would do something stupid. Sigh, I guess I'll give them their pay. I just hope that Naruto doesn't act too reckless, Sarutobi said to himself as he started another form on Anko's team and their success. Hokage Gates. Bye Raikage-sama. We'll see you soon, Karui said with a smile and the Raikage patted her on the head. He was about to leave with 2 Anbu that the Hokage assigned to him. I understand. Behave yourselves and you'll be fine. Be safe and continue on in Konoha for another 2 weeks. Once those are over you can come home. I'll see you soon, said to them making Samui, Omoi and Karui nod. They all watched him leave while Samui turned around. Samui, where are you going? Omoi asked her and the blonde looked up at the sky. I'm going to find Kyoko-san and get some more training in for today. See you later, Samui told them as she ran off leaving Omoi and Karui near the gates. Wanna follow her? Karui asked while Omoi rubbed the back of his head. Sure, why not, he said as they quickly followed their blonde friend. Land of Iron, hotel room. Naruto and Shikamaru stayed in one room while Hinata and Anko stayed in the other. The 2 boys sighed as Shikamaru shivered some more. I can't believe they're having a tournament in this place. Damn, it's cold, Shikamaru said and Naruto chuckled at his Nara friend. If you keep saying you're cold then you will be cold. Just stop moving and go to sleep. It's easy isn't it? Naruto asked and he yawned. Shikamaru sighed as he got in the bed. So you're going to win the tournament? Shikamaru asked and Naruto nodded with a small grin on his face. Of course. I'll get a free upgrade. Samui, Karui and Omoi might even upgrade theirs. I hope they'll be happy, Naruto said while Shikamaru looked at his friend with a smirk. Seems like someone is starting to like the blondie from Kumo, Shikamaru said while Naruto blushed as he turned on his side of the bed. Shut up and got to sleep, the blonde genin said while Shikamaru turned on his side and closed his eyes. Naruto did the same as he couldn't wait to have some fun tomorrow. Little did he or anyone else know how chaotic the tournament would soon become. Morning. Naruto opened his eyes and yawned himself awake. He looked out the window and he noticed that it was still snowing. He sighed before jumping out of bed. Due to the snow and cold, Naruto had no idea what time it was, though he could figure that out later. Right now he had a tournament to win. The blonde took a quick shower and got dressed in a red shirt, black pants and black jacket. He turned to see Shikamaru still sleeping and sighed. Come on Shikamaru. Time to get up. If you don't wake up on your own then Anko-ne will do it and you know how much of a drag that will be, Naruto told him and almost immediately Shikamaru lazily rose his body and scratched the back of his head with an annoyed sigh. Alright, I'm up. Is it even morning yet? Shikamaru asked and Naruto shrugged his shoulders since he didn't know. Shikamaru cursed under his breath before the 2 boys heard a knock on their door. The knob twisted and to their surprise Anko and Hinata showed up. Good morning Gaki. Time to wake up, Anko told them while Shikamaru hopped to his feet while Naruto packed his pouches. So what time's the tournament Anko-ne? Naruto asked and Anko pulled out a small pamphlet that was in her pocket. She opened it for a little while and then just as easily closed it. It starts immediately at 12 in the afternoon. We till have about 3 hours before the thing starts, so let's get going so we can have some breakfast. It'll also be the perfect chance to get you all into some good chakra exercises, Anko said while Shikamaru went into the shower to wash up. Well, that's good. I can't wait to have some fun. Just imagine all those prizes, Naruto said while Anko shook her head at him. Well, good luck, Naruto-kun, Hinata told him, and the blonde smiled with a nod. Well, let's get some breakfast and then we'll get started. Shikamaru can catch up to us, Anko said to them, and everyone nodded as they left. Breakfast was rather uneventful, but it was nice. The entire team had sat in silence while they ate their food, but it was also nerve-wracking. So many people were inside the hotel room that it was ridiculous. Still, it gave Naruto the chance to scope out his competition. He saw a lot of people there, but he was actually interested in one of them who was sitting in a corner. It was obviously female as she hid her face with the hood over her head. She ate in relative silence before she quickly got up and left the scene. Naruto could only wonder if she was in the tournament also, but he could dwell on that later. Somewhere outside, everyone was at the base of a small mountain while Anko threw a kunai up to the top of it. Alright guys, this is tougher than tree walking, so try and get up there. The ice is very slippery, so you'll need more refined chakra to give up there, or else you'll slip and land in a pile of cold show, Anko told them, and everyone sighed. They looked at the tall mountain while Naruto stepped forward. I guess I'll go first unless you both want to try it. Naruto asked them, and Shikamaru shook his head while Hinata insisted that the blonde go first. Taking that suggestion, Naruto quickly got to the mountain bases and walked up it. He quickly started to run up the mountain while Hinata and Shikamaru watched him go up further before they heard Anko chuckle. This could be good. Naruto walked up even further before he quickly slipped and shifted his balance. The blonde gasped as he lost all sense of balance in his feet. Seeing no other option, Naruto quickly backflipped and skidded into the snow before looking up the mountain. Great. It really is slippery. A lot more than I actually thought it was. It'll be tough to get up that thing, Naruto said while Shikamaru held his head down. Not what I wanted to hear, but fine. I guess it's my turn, the Nara said as he put his hands in his pockets. He put one foot to the mountain and started to walk up it, and only a few moments after did he come falling down into the snow, making Shikamaru shiver from the cold. Hinata didn't have a better time either as she fell into the snow either, but Naruto could tell that she had doubted her abilities that time. Hinata's chakra control, in order to use the Gyuken, had to quite efficient. Naruto could honestly say that she had just as good chakra control like him, but due to her nature she fell down quite a few times. This entire practice continued for a good majority of an hour and a half. They still had another hour and a half to spend before they had to be at the tournament. Alright, that was good. You are all covered in mountain of snow, he, Anko said while everyone settled for glaring at her, but didn't say anything since they were too busy having to keep their teeth from chattering. Now then, the best way to get you to keep from getting cold is to have a good old-fashioned spar. All three of you against me. How about it? Anko asked, but she didn't need a reply as Naruto threw a kunai at her. She quickly dodged it before Shikamaru threw a shuriken at her also. Anko sidestepped it and held her hands up. I didn't say we could start yet, Anko told them before she saw the madness in everyone's eyes. The snake mistress carefully backed away while Naruto got to his feet. You want sparring, Anko? Nay. Then you'll get it, he said as he crossed his fingers. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Naruto yelled, making 3 clones. Shikamaru took out 6 kunai strapped to some wire while Hinata went through her family's hand signs. Byakugan, she yelled while Anko gulped. She held up her hands up again in defense and sweat dropped. Okay, they are all pissed off, badly. I only hope I live to see you again, Nai-chan, Anko said mentally as her team charged at her with rage in their eyes. Back in the town. Come on, are you all still mad at me? Anko asked while everyone stayed silent, making the snake mistress sigh. Oh come on. It was all in the interest of training. Besides, you'll see results from extreme conditions like this, Anko said while everyone turned to her. Shikamaru and Hinata whispered in Naruto's ears. The blonde nodded and turned to Anko. We want you to treat us to dinner, Naruto said, making the two nod while Anko narrowed her eyes at them all. Are you negotiating with me? She asked, and they nodded while the purple-haired Anbu growled underneath her breath about ungrateful students, but she nodded, making the three of them smile at her. Alright, now that that's settled, we can head to the arena. Let's go, Anko. Nay. Be sure to watch us from the stands, you guys, Naruto said as he dragged Anko off, leaving Shikamaru and Hinata alone. He's not going to hold out, you know, the Nara said while the Hyuga heiress lightly giggled. Yeah, but that's just like Naruto-kun, don't you think? She asked, and Shikamaru could agree with that as they walked off towards the arena.